Are you ready to see the oh-so-lovely ladies of The View explode after JD Vance's comments about childless cat ladies resurface? Yes, guys, it's as great as it sounds. JD Vance made an insult about childless cat ladies. The horror. And The View is not having it, guys. They are so upset. So you're going to enjoy this video, and we're going to get right into it. But first, everybody, please make sure you like our video, share it around, and subscribe to the Resist the Mainstream YouTube channel. And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. As always, I'm your host, Darian. Let's get into the clip.
Just a few weeks ago, a lot of Democrats were feeling a little out of sorts about what was going to happen in November, but Vice President Harris continues to build excitement about her presidential campaign, where she's laying out exactly what's at stake. Take a look.
Donald Trump wants to take our country backward. He and his extreme Project 2025 agenda will weaken the middle class. Like, we know we got to take this seriously. Can you believe they put that thing in writing? We'll stop Donald Trump's extreme abortion bans.
I'm sure Kamala's read the whole thing.
We trust women to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do.
You know, now, on the other side of the aisle, rumors are growing that Republicans, are second-guessing their VP choice.
Oh, yeah.
And resurfaced with a video of JD Vance, and it's not really helping him connect with a lot of voters. Take a look.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. And it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. And how does it make any sense that we've turned our country over to people who don't really have a direct stake in it?
I like how Pete Buttigieg is a childless cat lady. Hard agree. Hard agree.
Sir, wow. There are people who have chosen not to have children for whatever reason. There are people who want to have children who cannot. How dare you? You never had a baby. Your wife had a baby, but you never had a baby. So you know nothing about this.
It's called being
and
a father.
How dare you? And women, you heard how he thinks of you.
Yeah.
This is not good for you, JD.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, I mean, it's
What
also,
the hell?
It's so mean against. It's so mean against cats. Also. I mean, why do Republicans hate animals? One of them once shot a puppy.
That's
now
right.
he's dragging poor cats into the situation. What is their problem with animals? And you know, Trump doesn't have a dog. No, he's the only president in my
Ever.
lifetime
Yeah.
who doesn't have a freaking dog because he
doesn't have a cat
he
either.
skeeves them, you know.
No, he has no animals.
But you know, I
Except
think
JD.
that to your point that JD Vance may have get the heave-ho. I think it's very hard for Trump to get over the fact that he called him America's Hitler. Even though he reneged on it, he said...
I thought it was a compliment.
Well, I'm sure Trump thinks it's a compliment, yes, for sure. But I mean, it's hard one to get over, I think, when someone calls you the most disgraceful, the most evil person in the world. And now you say, I didn't really mean it.
Well, I find that...
He's history pretty soon, just watch.
Well, in hearing that clip, there's so many places to go. The people that can't have kids, the people that have proudly chosen not to, that. But the part that really disgusts me is that he thinks by the fact that you have children, that's how you look through the lens of politics. I have children, and I can assure you that is not my first thought when I think about politics. My kids are going to obviously be affected by that, but anyone with a heart will look at the moral clarity of the decisions we're making here. The people that are at risk here, like women facing issues about the agencies of their, and he touches on that in his quote, but the agency of their own bodies. I care about all the women that are dealing with that. That's not my body right now. I've done some stuff. But the environment, the fact that whenever we talk about environment, Joy, you always look over me and you say, I worry for my grandchild.
And yours. And
yeah,
your
but I worry for me. It's Mother Earth. We're here to rent it, not destroy it. That pisses me off, how we treat things. And the last thing is poverty. poverty pulls on the heartstrings. And I look, my kids have something to eat. I've had something to eat every meal of my life, sometimes much too much to eat. But my point here is, it's not my kids I'm worried about, it's every kid and every person and every human that doesn't. So if you have a heart in your chest and you are only looking through the lens of your own family, you are part of the problem.
Well, I think...
So first off, her joke really wasn't funny. But that aside, talk about being a narcissist. She gets angry and upset that people are considering the future of their own kids. And then she literally chastises Joy Behar for looking after her own grandchildren. Now, look, I'm no Joy Behar fan, believe me, far from it. But it's a great thing and a beautiful thing, in fact, that she cares about the success and prosperity of her grandchildren, as any decent person should. Back to the narcissism point, you notice how one of the first things she brings up about that she cares about more than her own kid's success is her right to kill a baby? Seriously? It really is quite incredible.
I think what's... To your point,
well said.
The way what I was hearing is, unless you have a child, you don't have a stake in this country because you don't have a stake in the future of this country.
Correct.
And that is a very myopic view of this world because, as you said, there are people that don't have children by choice. There are people that don't have children because they can't have children. And there are very young Gen Z voters that are in college that are one of the growing demographics of voters that don't have children yet. They're children themselves, but they're teenagers and they can still vote. So I think it's a very myopic view, but what I want to talk about is Kamala Harris. See, that's the Kamala Harris that we know. That's the prosecutor versus the felon.
Here's my hot take. If somebody doesn't have children by choice, their takes and opinions are objectively less valuable than someone who does. And I know people are going to get offended by that. No, that's not right, blah, blah, blah. No, it really is simple. Having children is one of the best ways any decent person can contribute to the future of civilization. And if someone who has the ability to have children intentionally forgoes it, they are, by definition, stopping themselves from contributing to society as much as they could. Doesn't matter if they have the biggest business ever or whatever. That's just the truth. And for those of you who disagree with me and who don't like children, well, when you get put into a retirement home one day and you have no family to look after you, don't hire a caregiver who inevitably will be much younger than you to come and wipe your you-know-what. I'm just saying.
That is the matchup that I needed. That is the matchup that this country needed because it's a stark, stark difference. She is pointing out that economic justice is on the ballot, educational justice is on the ballot, healthcare justice is on the ballot. These are her words. Reproductive justice is on the ballot. Justice for children is on the ballot. You need a prosecutor at this time. And when you compare her with the felon in chief, there is no comparison.
The oldest felon also
the
we've ever
oldest
had.
felon. And I think that's why. And one last thing I want to say is,
I got you.
900 pages. That's Project 2025. I know people don't like to read 900 pages.
You don't have
read,
to.
Read
We'll
a little
tell
bit
you.
of it. Read a little bit of it. It is a scary vision of America, and JD Vance is the face of Project 2025.
So,
Go ahead, baby.
I love how Joy Behar basically admits they're propagandists right there, because it was hard to catch, but when Sonny says, I recommend you go read it yourself, Behar says, they don't have to, we'll tell you. Yeah, that's how it works, isn't it? Also, to Sonny's comment about reproductive justice, what does that even mean? Reproductive justice? Is the right to kill an infant child, is that justice? Also, it's not reproductive at all. You're actually terminating reproduction, definitionally. So I just go back to my point that I always make about how the left makes everything opposite of what they are. It's all Orwellian, none of it makes sense, and they mean the opposite of what they say.
What has been such a discordant time in politics. The other is this JD Vance clip. I saw it years ago, a couple years ago when he said it, but I am hearing from so many girlfriends, lifelong Republicans, that are so offended by it. Because if you're a woman of about my age or mid-30s, the most common thing that my friends are dealing with is infertility, miscarriages, struggling to get pregnant, wanting to and it not happening, or people who so badly want to get married but they haven't met the right partner yet. How dare you denigrate them and say that they are not as valuable, they don't have as much of a stake in this society? And finally, how dare you come for cat ladies? The cover of Time magazine, Taylor Swift, the ultimate fabulous cat lady.
That's right.
What are you?
Yeah, because Taylor Swift, the single childless cat lady who constantly gets with different men and then breaks up with them and then writes songs about how she can't ever find a decent man, even though she's probably dated like, I don't know, 15 of them. Yeah, she's the model for what we should aspire to. That's just bonkers, but I don't even think I had to explain that because you guys get it. You're all smart. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, please be sure to comment below. Let us know what you want to see next. And we'll see you guys again soon. And maybe we'll get to hear a little bit more from the wonderful, beautiful, and amazing woman of The View. Thanks so much, and God bless.